WAEC and NECO examinations has been made easy by the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education with the Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates television program. Join seasoned teachers as they take you through these core subjects: mathematics, English language, physics, chemistry, and biology, targeting the exact syllabus of WAEC and NECO. Watch Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates on this station. Learners can also connect with Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates through these social media platforms to access more educational content and give their feedback. Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. Pass your examinations with flying colors.
Good day, learners. Welcome to Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. I'll be taking you biology, and our topic today is classification of living organisms. Come along with me.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
Before we start, we look at our lesson objective. At the end of this lesson, every learner should be able to explain the term classification of living organisms, discuss the various reasons why we need to classify living organisms, and state the hierarchical method of classification of living organisms, and name organism using the binomial system of naming organism. What is classification? Here I have different definitions of classification. Classification is the process of organizing living things, process of putting living organisms in their specific units, or you can say it's the process of grouping living organisms together. When you put similar things together because of similar things they share, or you say it's the biological practice of placing or ordering living organisms into groups according to origin. That means they come from the same place, they have the same structure, or their relationship with each other, and other things like physical features or behavior. Or you can say it's the sorting. Like if you want to play football, they sort every club into different groups before they start playing match. We have group A, different group B, like that. Then, or arranging living organisms according to their common or similar characteristics. Those organisms that share the same thing. If you have oranges and lime and lemon, if you look at those things, those plants or fruits, they share the same thing, so they are always grouped together. Then, or you say classification is the arrangement of organisms with similar characteristics based on their what? Structure, genetics, where they share similar. That is why living organisms are grouped together, because all of us come from the same parents or evolutionary trend. Now, the next definition is definition of taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is the science study of classification. As a scientist, if you are into classification, you are called a taxonomist, because you deal with naming and classifying living organisms. You can go to university and become a taxonomist. Now, the next one is reason. Why do we need to classify living organisms? Number one reason I put here is to sort organisms into a systemic order or specific group, or to show relationship between two different organisms. How do we relate to rats, or how are we different from rats? How are human beings different from rats? How is dog different from cat? These are relationships. You sort them into different ones, then easy identification. If you see an orange, if you see a lime, it is easier to tell you these are similar, so you can group them together. Then provide universally accepted name. Every part of the world has different languages, so we call different things by different names. So for us to have an acceptable name, we need to classify living organisms. And the next one is to trace the origin, where they are coming from. Then evolutionary trend. Which organism give rise to the next one? Then show relationship between different organisms, then for easy reference and for scientific research. The next thing we are going to look at is binomial nomenclature. Each and every one of us has their surname and our individual name. In a normal practice, that is what we call binomial nomenclature, because it's a system where organism has two names. This system was produced or was developed by a Swedish naturalist called Carolus Linus or Carl Linus. Some people call him Carolus Linus. Some prefer to call him Carl Linus. What is important there is the spelling of his name, either Carolus or Carl. Some even use capital letter C, or some will just write Linus alone and underline his name. Carolus Linus is regarded as the father of classification because he's the first one that proposed an acceptable way of classifying organisms. Now, biology used name organisms so as to avoid confusion. Like I said before, in Nigeria, we have like different languages. In Igbo, they can call yam, Yoruba call yam issue, Hausa call it doya. If you are in Yoruba land and you are calling doya, they'll just be looking at what is this man saying. If you are a scientist and you are writing doya inside your book and you are living in Lagos, it will not be easy to recognize what you are saying. But if you have a general name as a scientist, once you measure Discora, everybody will know what you are talking about. That's why we need a common name, an easy way of writing names. The next one is rule of binomial nomenclature. What rules should we follow in naming organisms? The first one is, we should notice the scientific name or binomial nomenclature is what we call botanical name or scientific name, and everything is written in Latin. The first name of the organism is the genus name, that is the general name given to every organism, and the next one is the specific name. Like we have our surname, that is our general family name, it's the same thing as the genus name, and our individual name is the species name. The next one is the genus name is always starting, please note, always starting with capital letter, while the species name starts with small letter, and each of these names must be underlined. If you are typing it, you must put it in italics, but if you are writing it, after writing you must underline. Then when organisms have several names, this one, a specific name is accompanied by the author's name. After the species name, sometimes they put the author name to show who is the person that discovered the organism or the person that names it. Most of the name at the end you might say L, to show this organism was named by Linus. Now this is example of binomial nomenclature of how some organisms are named. I have here pawpaw. Pawpaw is named Carica papaya, or you can put it in italics that I've done here. Maize is Z maize. Water leaf is Thallium fulisicum. Sweet orange is Citrus sinensis. Now if you have like orange, you have lime, you have lemon and tangerine. These are similar group of fruits that look alike and has almost the same name. All of them are citrus. If you are not sure which species you are talking about, you can just write citrus species. The species, you can even abbreviate it to SPP to represent species, citrus species. The next one is housefly. Housefly is Musca domestica, to show that it is the kind of fly that reside within us. And our toad is Bufo regularis. Let's move on. We have here human being, we are referred to as Homo sapien. Some say modern human. Dog is Canis familiaris. Then our lion is Panthera leo. Like we have tiger. Tiger too is Panthera. Leopard, is Panthera. Cheetah is Panthera. If you are not sure which species you are talking about, you can just write Panthera species. The species, you can abbreviate it to be SPP. The next one is earthworm, Lubricus terrestre. Sorry, I forgot to underline this. This should be underlined. The next one is amoeba, Amoeba proteus. Coffee is Coffee arabica. Then beans is Phaseolus fulgris. Next one is the hierarchy of classification. One of the reasons why Carolus Linnaeus was regarded as the father of classification is because of the hierarchical method he proposed in classifying living organisms. A lot of scientists has classified organisms. According to some research, he said Aristotle was the first man to classify living organisms. But because he could not explain his reason for classification, his idea was not really accepted until this man, Carolus Linnaeus, came up with the hierarchical method that every organism are placed in different levels. Now, according to him, we have 7 hierarchical methods. The largest one is the kingdom, followed by the phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Species is always ending with an S. The kingdom, Arabia, is the largest unit of classification. That means it has large number of organisms. A dog, a rat, human being, goat. All of us are animals. Now compare all those animals with just human being. The number, the largest number. The kingdom has the largest number of organisms. Then it's in the traditional method. We have 2 kingdoms, just Plantae and Animalia. According to Aristotle then, he classified every organism into plants and animal. Even Linnaeus follows suit, classify into plants and animal. But the modern classification, because of some small living organisms that we cannot place into their group, that is why they now break it into 5. The kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. Later we'll look at each of the characteristics of each of the kingdom. After the kingdom, the next one is the phylum. The phylum is a subdivision of the kingdom, while the class is a subdivision of the phylum. The same thing, order is the subdivision of class, and family is subdivision of order. Genus is subdivision of the family. The last one is species. Species is the smallest unit of classification, where organisms that are related are grouped together. Organisms that can interbreed together. That's why species is group of organisms that are capable of interbreeding with each other. What that means is, for example, human beings are different species. Rat is a different species. Human being sperm cannot fertilize that of rat because we are not the same species. We might be in the same kingdom, but we are not in the same species. So species is the smallest unit of classification. Kingdom is the largest unit of classification. Then species contain the smallest number of organisms, but the largest similarities between the organisms. In kingdom, they contain smaller similarity within them, but species contain the largest similarity between them. Here I have species consists of the smallest number of organisms, but they have distinct things that relate them together. Now, I have some practice questions for you so that it will help us to go over what we have discussed so far based on classification. The first question I have here is classification of living organisms. Name the scientists that developed the binomial system of classification. State 3 reasons why it is necessary to classify living things. List the 7 major groups in which taxonomies classify living organisms in order of the hierarchy. I give you 30 seconds to go over the practice question. I shall come back again to review the question. Welcome back. I hope the questions you are able to go over it and you are able to write something down. The first question is, what is classification? What is classification? Like I told you, is sorting or grouping of living organisms. Once you write sorting, you don't need to write group. Once you write grouping, you don't need to write arrangement. It's almost similar words. So sorting of living organisms according to their common. Common is the same thing as what? Similar. According to their common or similar characteristics that are shared together. The first man that name the scientist that developed binomial system of classification. The man is Carolus Linus. You can also be asked a question: who is the first man to classify living organisms? It's different from who is the first scientist. The first man is Aristotle. He's a Greek philosopher. The first scientist is Carolus Linus, and is the one that developed the binomial system of classification. Please note the spelling of his name is very, very important, because in biology we always mark spelling, especially scientific names. The next one is state 3 reasons why it is necessary to classify living organisms. They can twist the question and tell you what are the needs. What is the need for classification? It's still telling you, give reason. The first one is to put organism in order, to show the relationship between the organism, for easy identification of similar organisms, to provide universal names, for research purpose, for reference or easy study. The next one is list 7 major groups in which taxonomists classify living organisms in order of hierarchy. The first one is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, except the question specify. This should be the order from kingdom to species, not from species to kingdom. Except the question asks you to rearrange in descending order, that will come from species to kingdom. But in the order of hierarchy, it is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family. Because the particular year question like this was set in WAEC, many of the candidates mixed it up. Some started with species and end in kingdom. Some did not even arrange, they just list it. Once the question says the hierarchy method, you must start from kingdom and end in species.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
For comments, feedback, and any other question, feel free to reach out to us on our social media handle showing on the screen. Thank you. God bless.
Acing your WAEC and NECO examinations has been made easy by the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education with the Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates television program. Join seasoned teachers as they take you through these core subjects: mathematics, English language, physics, chemistry, and biology, targeting the exact syllabus of WAEC and NECO. Watch Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates on this station. Learners can also connect with Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates through these social media platforms to access more educational content and give their feedback. Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. Pass your examinations with flying colors.
Thank you.